And then I still remember, and they showed the highlight of this, 6 men, Armageddon rules, Hell in a Cell, all vying for the WWE Championship, and I think the winner of that one was Kurt Angle. There were so many great matches that took place. Of course, the ever-famous Hell in a Cell match at WrestleMania 28 between The Undertaker and Triple H with Shawn Michaels as a special guest referee. That was the end of an era match. That was, to me, the best Hell in a Cell match of them all. You know, now Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins are now walking into a playground that they will never be able to leave. Survive, maybe. Leave is hard. Very, very hard. So this Sunday, or tonight, on pay-per-view, we're going to see Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose. One-on-one. And my prediction, I'm going with Ambrose. Because I think a lot of people have already seen Seth Rollins win a few of the matches. And now I think it's time for Dean Ambrose to win. And more importantly, at Hell in a Cell, I think I see big things happening for Dean Ambrose at the very, very end of this Hell in a Cell match. So expect that. Dean Ambrose wins. That's my opinion. That's how it goes. And as far as John Cena versus Randy Orton goes, I'm going to go with Randy Orton for the obvious reason. Number one, a lot of people know John Cena can beat the living shit out of Randy Orton anywhere, anytime. Number two, I think a lot of people would like to see the Viper go one-on-one against the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. I like to see it. You'd like to see it. And plus, I think he already got his stamp of approval. You know how? Let me tell you how. You know, is it just me, or is everyone starting to post a bunch of ridiculous RKO videos that appear on Facebook and on Twitter? That's amazing, right? The statement was the fact that Randy Orton RKO's John Cena, right? On Monday Night Raw. And then Paul Heyman is all cool, everything's fine, he's not going to get hit, and I'm begging Randy Orton to go ahead and put an RKO on Paul Heyman. And sure enough, bam! RKO to Paul Heyman, laid flat on his fucking face, and before you know it, that told me straight up, uh-oh, Brock's not gonna like it. So expect Randy Orton to beat John Cena and expect him to take on Brock Lesnar. But the question that now remains, speaking of Brock Lesnar, are we gonna see Brock defend the championship at Survivor Series, or are we gonna wait another 5 months until he arrives, until WrestleMania comes along? That's the big question. We'll find that out at Hell in a Cell tonight. So get your hands on it on the WWE Network, or get it on pay-per-view. You get it on pay-per-view, it's going to be for $54.99. If you get it for the WWE Network, it'll only be for $9.99. Oh my God, cannot wait for it. Hell in a Cell, get it when you can tonight. Now, let's see, we're kind of off the subject a little bit of WWE right now, so let's talk about something else, including what's been happening in TNA Wrestling. As you guys know, Bellator took place this past Friday. Bobby Lashley had a tremendous matchup, I believe, I forgot it was against some undefeated guy at the Bellator MMA. He won in the first round, you know, just like that. And I was trying to remember, you know, like I said, I don't know the guy's name. I've been keeping up with most of the Bellator fights anyway. And I also kept up with the UFC, which took place last night, and that was fucking badass as well. But Bobby Lashley, as you know, is going to be defending the World Heavyweight Championship, the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, as he takes on the it factor of professional wrestling, Bobby Roode. Now, once again, this is going to be a matchup that the main event cannot wait for, and I think, personally, I think this will conclude the entire feud between Bobby Lashley and Bobby Roode, and I think, this is just my opinion, I think an implosion is going to take place between Lashley, MVP, and Kenny King. It's been a long time coming, and I think Bobby Lashley will do a whole lot better after he loses the championship to Bobby Roode. But that, I don't know if that's going to happen. He may still hold on to the championship, or he may go ahead and, you know, lose the championship to Bobby Roode. But we'll see what happens this coming Wednesday night on TNA Impact. Bobby Lashley, Bobby Roode for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Also, the tag team tournament is going on right now. I think the Wolves are going to have an opportunity to find out who their next opponents will be. Either MVP or Kenny King, Samoa Joe and Low Key, the Hardys, and I'm trying to remember. There's another team I think that won. Can't put my EC3 and Tyrus, aka Brodus Clay. Yes, we know it's Brodus Clay. Okay, so that's what's gonna happen this coming Wednesday on Impact. Check your local listings when you can. And also, now, and I want to bring this subject up before I get into the big rant that I need to talk about. I think this week, besides the UFC that took place this past Saturday, I believe there's a new organization that's coming up right now. I think they showed up on some Spanish channel. I forgot what Spanish channel it was, but I do know that it came out. It's a wrestling event called Underground Lucha Libre, and you know me being the big wrestling fan and all. You know, if I see something that's a little bit different and a little bit unique, you know, I want to go ahead and check it out. And I think most of it, the Lucha Libre Underground, I think it features certain particular WWE superstars, former WWE superstars, that are taking part in this event, including John Morrison. He's a part of it as well. I think Matt Stryker is in there. I think he's the announcer, I think. And a few former TNA wrestling superstars will take part in this event as well. I don't know what channel it's on, but I'm going to look around for it just to see what they have to offer. I heard a lot of big things about it. I heard a lot of great names are going to be a part of this event, but I can't wait to check it out. I'm wondering how long can we see it, and will it go as further as a month? That's just my opinion. But Lucha Libre Underground, find it on your local listings, and if you know what it is, let me know what it is and everything else like that. And if I find out before anybody else, I'll let you in on what channel, where to look for it, and how to get it. Now, since we've talked about WWE, since we've talked about TNA, and since we've talked about the Lucha Libre, there's a few things I want to talk about. I'm going to conclude this episode of the Main Event Talk right here, right now, with three particular superstars. And the three particular superstars I'm talking about is The Miz, Damien Sandow, and EC3. Now, what do these three superstars have in common? Let me tell you what these three superstars have in common. These three superstars, they all suck. Oh yeah. They all suck. But yet all of you, most of you anyway, decide to go ahead and pull for guys like that. Now, I'm going to start with The Miz first, my favorite of them all. You see, most of you guys that have had an opportunity to look through some of my videos, you know that the beginning of the Main Event Talk all started with The Miz and with the ever-famous line, FTM, fuck The Miz. I have not been a fan of The Miz at all until, I would say, maybe 2013, I think. Because you see, The Miz is one of these individuals that, he was a reality TV show, obviously, you know, TV show, celebrity, or whatever the fuck he was. Then he appears in WWE, and then he did great with John Morrison as a tag team. And then when he went on to be a single guy, he did okay for himself. He was a United States Heavyweight Champion. And then he decided to go ahead and start barking on the wrong tree by trying to win the WWE Championship. He wins Money in the Bank, right? Then he goes over, wins the WWE Championship. And then everyone makes such a big deal about the fact that, oh my God, The Miz is champion. But me, it's like, are you kidding me? Are you insane? Has the WWE lost their fucking mind? You put Miz in a position to be WWE champion. right? And you put him at WrestleMania up against John Cena, and it becomes unquestionably the worst match in the history of WrestleMania. Nobody cared if The Miz was champion or not. Hell, even CM Punk at that time knew that why would you want to put The Miz in the main event at WrestleMania against John Cena? It would have been better to see John Cena versus CM Punk at WrestleMania. Even CM Punk said that, if you remember that off of his DVD. And then The Miz loses the championship, he loses a bunch of matches, everything goes south from there, and then he decides to turn a good guy, right? And even when he turned into a good guy, nobody gave a shit. Nobody cared. And then, you know, he started getting the approval of some of the fans, and some of the fans digged him. I didn't really like him that much. And then he gets the approval of the 16-time World Heavyweight Champion, Ric Flair. Well, okay, you got the approval. It's all there. It's all set. Good. We're good to go. And then I remember Miz TV, and then I remember Brock Lesnar being a part of Miz TV, and then The Miz had the balls to go ahead and go right up to Brock Lesnar and do everything in his power to go toe-to-toe with the Beast Incarnate. And right there was that moment that I said, no fucking shit. This dude looks like he's going to be a player after all. So the main event goes from being FTM to The Miz to being not too bad. The Miz goes ahead and moves on, goes to WrestleMania, becomes Intercontinental Champion, I believe for the first time in his career, or second time in his career, I could be wrong. And he wins it against Bad News Barrett. And that was, to me, his greatest achievement of his career. He got a whole lot better. And I think Miz would have been a whole lot better if he would have stayed in the position that he was in. But I guess after he left WWE to do his B-list career, or A-list career, I'm sorry, comes back as a movie star wannabe. That's what he's become, a movie star wannabe. And then he goes ahead and brings in another superstar to ride his supposed coattails. And this individual, another one, Damien Sandow, a guy that I've never ever cared about at all. When I first remembered him a long time ago, he was a tag team. He was tag team partners with, I think it was Kurt Hawkins, I think. I could be wrong. It was with some tag team. And then all of a sudden, here's Damien Sandow coming out in the robe and everything else like that, trying to speak like he was the genius, right? And, you know, my opinion on that is, you know, yeah, it was a good thing. He was a great wrestler. He was a great wrestler. But for people to say that he was going to be the next Ric Flair was very, very, very funny. Oh, yeah, it was a very, very funny situation. So funny, in fact, that here's Money in the Bank 2013, right? And then all of a sudden, Damien Sandow gets the Money in the Bank briefcase. Now, I was hoping for Cody Rhodes to be the one to win Money in the Bank, because at least that would make a whole lot of sense. And plus, you talk about a young superstar who deserves the spotlight a whole lot more than Damien Sandow. Damien, to me, is just another gimmick wrestler who only is there as a one-hit bitch. And now he decides to overcome his one-hit wonder to become the hottest thing in WWE by getting the Money in the Bank briefcase. He wins it, he goes in some feuds with Cody Rhodes, and then he loses his Money in the Bank to John Cena. And I think the only reason why the only reason why Damien Sandow lost the Money in the Bank briefcase in the first place was because WWE had already had plans to put the WWE and World Heavyweight Championship together on that same year. So there's your reason right there. Now, it doesn't excuse the fact that Damien Sandow continues a few months back, or a few months ahead at that time, trying to disguise himself as all these particular people. He came out as Davy Crockett. He came out as an NBA player. He came out as Vince McMahon. That's a bad move on his part. And I'm asking myself, what the fuck is he doing? You know, impersonating all of these people. What is he trying to do?